Welcome back to episode 77 and P S Gilmore's relationship with the cities of America. We're going to look at some of this throughout his career and how he was welcomed, how he was portrayed, and so on across America. Here we have King Gilmore, the great bandmaster, comes, is seen and conquers. Last night's grand event, this was how the papers reported it. There was no other news reporting other than the papers, and so this was truly Gilmore. The closing day, two great Sangerfest concerts. This was, I believe, in St. Paul's in Minnesota. Here Gilmore, the great vocalist and the great chorus. Greatest musical jubilee ever held in the West. Sousa said at some stage or other, before Gilmore there was no classical music across America. And this was never better proven than by looking at the array of concerts. The Tabernacle, grand musical event and festival under the direction of P S Gilmore. That's the Tabernacle in Salt Lake City, and we'll see that later in this documentary. It's a wonderful kind of a portrayal of everywhere he went. The doors were opened for him. People loved the music. They may not have known who the composers were, or indeed what were the pieces that were actually played, but they were humming them there afterwards, and this led to the development of choirs, the development of bands. He was forever promoting the development of bands in places like St. Louis or Chicago or Boston or in New York. A great example. Here's the Gilmore Day, closing day of the World Peace Jubilee. And there wasn't, I would say, a household, not just amongst the Irish or the Germans or the Italians or any other European immigrant, that didn't know who was Gilmore. He was synonymous with top quality music to a degree that not even our modern stars are known of today. The great musical event, comprising 50 musicians in addition to the great band under the personal direction of Mr. P S Gilmore, from a triumphant tour of the 150 concerts in Europe. So this is after 1878. Here's Manhattan Beach, highest temperature yesterday, 75 degrees. That's telling people, if you're too warm in the city, get out to Manhattan Beach, cool down, listen to Gilmore's Band. Great programs afternoon and evening, Gilmore's annual Jubilee. And these advertisements were carried not just in New York, but up and down the East Coast. Another advertisement, Gilmore's celebrated band, 55 musicians, 5 soloists, admission 50 cents. This was affordable. Just in case we forget, the 1878 tour, Gilmore's American Band, tonight at the Free Trade Hall, holders of gallery tickets, etc., etc. And this is in Manchester, England. Followed by the Albert Hall in Nottingham, Gilmore's American Band of the 22nd Regiment of New York, consisting of 65 eminent performers, will give a matinee concert. This band was now known not just across America and into Canada, but into the whole of Europe. Here's Crystal Palace in London. The reception of Gilmore's Band from America. This was the first time, the first tour that an American musical organization had ever made into Europe. And here is Kennard Hall, This is from Dundee, up in northern Scotland. And here Gilmore played and packed that hall, as well as later on throughout Holland, Belgium, France, and so on. And let's not forget, back in 1886, in aid of Bartholdi's Pedestal Fund. So every time you look at that Statue of Liberty, obviously remember Gilmore played for its inauguration in October of 1886. But in April of 1886, he raised some of the money and reminded people that they needed money to build the pedestal. Without them, that pedestal and that statue wouldn't stand today. St. Louis Exposition, again, St. Louis, Missouri. Everyone knew this man. Back to Manhattan Beach. Gilmore and his incomparable band will commence their 12th season at Manhattan Beach. He was part of the furniture, chorused by the American people. So say we all of us, and we'll rally round their flag at Manhattan Beach today for the balance of the season. Again, this is how important this man was. Here in April, we have a list for that particular year. We have a list in April for the number of concerts, just in April, for that for Gilmore's band. Incredible. From Connecticut through Massachusetts into New Hampshire, back to Massachusetts, it's incredible what this band performed. And okay, they were very well paid. Here's in May, Rhode Island, back to Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, through New York in detail into Pennsylvania, into DC, Delaware, New Jersey, back to Pennsylvania, and then returning to New York to join their regiment, and in June. So this is 3 months. We're in New York, Connecticut, Ontario, Canada, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky. And again, can you imagine a modern band doing that with our modern our conveniences and transportation? These band members were well paid. But they were all on a train. Can you imagine what they did? And here is a simple advertisement. The best programs ever presented by the incomparable Gilmore from Rutland. Here's an advertisement for P S Gilmore and his grand descriptive Fantasia, Gilmore's Band Tour of the Nations, and the list of places that they are going to be playing to. Gilmore's Band, this is from, I love this name because I happen to be a fan of a TV series in the last few years. Can't think of it, but the lead character was Bohanna. And this is Bohannon's Hall. And this, I believe, was in Lincoln, Nebraska. So they were traversing the whole of the West, bringing the classics to the West and the enjoyment to everyone. There was no singling out by Gilmore. Red Bat's Boston Lyceum Music Hall on Tuesday, March the 11th. Gilmore's Band, 50 in the band, and all the details. And a man I mentioned last week, Hathaway and Pond were the managers. Gilmore's Band in Akron, is that, I believe, Ohio? I hope it is, and if I made a mistake, I do apologize. The name of Gilmore's Band is well known across every household in the country, and the fact that it will appear in Columbia Hall, etc., etc., you can read it. here is the advertisement for Gilmore's Musical Jubilee in 1889, is it? And for this event, they were playing in the Tabernacle. Here's the Tabernacle in front of you. And could seat 12,000 people. And there was no doubt Salt Lake City loved Gilmore. The elders of the city gave time to everyone to go home, bring back their families, their wives, their children, and they could all visit Gilmore's band playing this exquisite music. And Gilmore also built up a great love and regard for the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. And we'll see more of that in a later episode. So here is the advertisement on, just check this, it's 1887, October the 31st. And it must have been incredible. They were marched into the Tabernacle by the local regiment with full military honours and with full regard and respect from all in Salt Lake. And given that facility free of charge by the elders. Utah's greatest festival, P S Gilmore, Salt Lake Tabernacle, Thursday and Friday, October 31st and November the 1st. And it says at the bottom, Gilmore's wonderful band, soloists, great vocal artists, ringing steel anvils and electric artillery. My God, this was like a circus in music. And it was, literally. And it says there, Mammoth Territorial Musical Jubilee Festival. So, that basically is an idea of what Gilmore's popularity was about. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back with more next week. And I hope you enjoyed that. Click, subscribe and like. And we'll talk to you later. Bye now.